everyone, it's Cindy. Welcome back to Studioloo. I'm here today with another flip through of a Curiosa journal. This is Grand Concert. This is one of a series of 10 books that I made from an old law library, Ontario Weekly Notes. This one's from 1951. This is a big chunky book. These are really high quality, amazing books. They have the jute ribbing in the spine. I used a woodcut from Pork Chop Show on Etsy. This is a little doll here. I just tied that on the signature, the middle signature of all of the books, something interesting on the spine. So these books have a theme of like curiosity cabinet, curiosa, collecting, a little bit of dark, not too dark, but yeah, just lots of fun, kind of eclectic, but also like in the theme of like antique vintage collections, curiosities, oddities. So this book is done with sculptural collage on the cover, which is one of my very favorite ways of making books. And this is a door knocker that I found at an antique store in Maryland, in the United States. It is attached with two heavy-duty brads. Behind it, I've added this really beautiful embroidery that looks almost like a tattoo. And behind that is some handmade marbled paper from a local paper maker called thepapertrail.ca. And there's a little journal label down here, and this is a Tim Holtz chipboard that says Grand Concert, admit one, evening only. So this is the closure. It is metal eyelets, and I've used this dark green to go with the leaves. Seam binding. This book is 178 pages in 7 signatures. It is packed with ephemera. It's from 1951, 6 1/4 inches by 9 1/2 with a 2 3/4 inch spine. So we'll open it on up, and these books all kind of start the same way, in that I have used a vintage or antique, in this case, cabinet card, and I love this couple. They're just so cool. This is from Manchester, Iowa, and that is a tuck spot for an authentic 1935 document, an invoice from Guelph Motor Car Company. So that is just a little extra writing space. And throughout this series of books, you'll notice maybe a few things are similar, but nothing is exactly the same. So if you're interested in these books, or even just watching the videos and you're like, oh, well, it's the same thing again, they're actually almost entirely all unique. Very few things repeat. Maybe under 10 things are shuffled throughout here more than once. So this is a cabinet of curiosities, and inside of it, it's got two little brads here, or sorry, eyelets that hold it closed, and they are metal. And when you open it up, there are different things inside each one of these. So I've created these little shelves, and there's all these little things like little stickers, die cuts, stamped images, little cutouts. So you could leave them in there, use them as little journal cards, or you could use them throughout the book if you liked, and you could put other things inside there. Totally up to you. And that just ties closed. So that is on some Tim Holtz paper. And you will see next the first of many pages of Cabinet of Curiosities by Alberta Siwa, illustrated and written. He was kind of one of those people who was responsible for documenting all the species in the world as the world was being discovered, and scientists were adding genus names to things. So lots of those pages in here. This is a vintage 1800s AP gold ledger, so it's a legal ledger. It's a real ledger book. This is from a Curiosities and Oddities scrapbook kit, and so I just added it here as a flip up for more writing space up here. And then under here we have a page from a book called Past Objects, and it is basically a book that an archaeologist created with his photography, showing all of the weird and cool things that he dug up on his digs, basically. So then here we have more of the Cabinet of Curiosities. And then another theme throughout these books you'll see are these like library pocket kind of cabinet pockets. So if you imagine like those big library card wood, cabinets, I think about these pockets this way. And I've done them in various different ways throughout the series. These ones are brown paper and they have word snippets. So this one says an owl as big as my shoe and has this journal card with an image from the Garden of Delight from Bosch. There's collaging behind this. This one says a tiny house and it has this eye here, this journal card. And this is an image that is from an art book and I positioned it upside down to be a little more strange. And this says The Wretchedest Tale of Love. And it has this strange image from Gold Quixote on Etsy from the Cabinet of Curiosities collection. And then this little bug journal card, little label. This one says Dainties. This is an image from Banana Fana Design on Etsy. And this is a 49 in Market, just fun paper for more journaling space. Another Cabinet of Curiosity page and more of the Past Objects book. Here we have a pocket made from Bosch's Garden of Earthly Delights, and inside of it we have a vintage postcard from the Narrows in St. John's, Newfoundland. And these were sent in 1953-ish. This one doesn't have the stamp, but I do have the whole collection, so I know it was 1953. And then some porcelain dolls back there. Another of the AP Gold Ledger pages. And then we have some frogs here from the Cabinet of Curiosity and the whole tadpole kind of situation. More Tim Holtz paper, and then 3 more of these pockets. So this one says Long Claws, and it has this little journal card inside. And then the next one says A Diamond and has this Salem Apothecary bone powder card. And then below it, probably the most prominent screaming image on the page is this. This says All the Birds of the Air, and this journal card is from the Strangeness collection from Banana Fana Design on Etsy. Then this page is from the Cabinet of Curiosa, or Curiosity, and we have this. This you'll see in a couple of the journals. It's a little fishbowl of doll heads, and it has acetate in front. It holds onto this Gold Quixote journal card that just pops in here, and behind it is la collection d'histoire, like a historical collection. And I made this journal card with the Cabinet of Curiosity in back, and this is kind of like a specimen that she's showing off. And I actually made that from melting a Cheetos bag, a snack bag. So it was from a project that I did here on the channel. Then we have this tuck spot at the bottom with these beautiful moths, and this journal card is made from a cool image from a surrealist photographer book. It's very interesting. And this is a whiteboard page. So you know how sometimes you have something you just need to write down, but maybe you don't want it there forever, or you don't want anyone else to read it, and you eventually feel like you could see it just go away. Maybe a destructive thought, or an embarrassing situation, or a secret, something that is not permanent. You can wipe it away. This is your blank slate. This is a vintage playing card, a game card. It's called Scan, and I just love these eyes. More of the Cabinet of Curiosities book. And then this is a cool piece of stationery, dyed on back, and it's from an art book, and it's just this very scary kind of demon-y person on the back of a dragon. I think she represents death, right? Because she has the sickle there. And this is on, it's on Cabinet of Curiosity paper. And over here we have Coffee Dyed Grey's Anatomy. And this is one of the first pharmacies sort of depicted, an apothecary from an old encyclopedia about health and lifestyle. So it's an illustration. And then in here we have Hamlin's Wizard Oil, best pain remedy on earth. Cures all pain, man or beast. And that is on a vintage postcard. Then we have some carbonized Japanese maple leaves on rusted sketchbook paper. The Worm Man. He is from the movie Freaked in the 1990s, I believe. I had to include him. What is more curious and strange than this guy? I love him. I also love the film. More of the leaves, and then this is a medical image from basically how, like, learning early on how to find veins in the arm. And then we have this journal card. It says The Domini, and this is a plague doctor, and it opens up, and inside it says chapter 21. This is from an old book. And then below it we have 20. The last night that she lived, it was a common night, except the dying. This to us made nature different. We noticed smallest things, things overlooked before, by this great light upon our minds, italicized as 'twere. The others could exist while she must finish quite. A jealousy for her arose, so nearly infinite. We waited while she passed. It was a narrow time. Too jostled were our souls to speak. At length the notice came. She mentioned and forgot, then lightly as a reed, bent to the water, shivered scarce, consented, and was dead. And we placed the hair, and drew the head erect, and then an awful leisure was our faith to regulate. So it's obviously a poem about death. This goes in here. So this is kind of a double tuck spot situation of these old black work kind of dark images from an art book, and it's on coffee dyed Gray's Anatomy. We have a couple things in here. One is just this beautiful piece of paper from, I believe, Tim Holtz, and it's just stationary to go into the tuck spot. As so, just tuck it on in there. And then this is an interesting, like, 3D card. It says materials used to build a house, people involved in a basketball game, not specific names of people. And there is, like, you can see the writing back there, but you probably have to have those fun 3D glasses to actually read this. Then we have this journal card over here in this little tuck spot on Curiosity cabinet paper. And this is like a face that's entirely covered in these tiny pebbles. And it's a journal card. This is a wraparound tuck spot. And in this tuck spot on Curiosity cabinet paper, we have this vintage photo. This is a real photo of these ladies that I colorized with vintage colorization pens. I did it in a video quite some time ago as an experiment, and I just loved it. It's so strange, and I thought it would be great in here. And then this is one of my laminated leaves. The other side of this whiteboard paper. And then we have, in a rusty paper clip on Curiosity cabinet paper, this is a folio that I made that's kind of fun. So it's tied closed with this. This is stitched into the back. It's seam binding. And this is like basically a Liberty Bell casino game. So this opens, it's writing space, and the paper is all fun dyed paper. So it's like a little kind of notebook, and then you just tie it closed. Add a little bow here. Just an interesting piece of curious ephemera, which is exactly what we were looking for in this book. So that closes, and then it just goes right into the paper clip up here to stay put. Then over here we have this, this is an old, I think, insurance envelope. Yeah, it was an insurance envelope. And there's this French danger label here. And then there's this fun little, like, tuck spot here, always at your service. I really like the shape of this envelope. And then I put this little cabinet card. This is from Miles Beyond the Moon. I put him in there so this little guy would be looking out at you. And then the other side of that scan card that you saw earlier, they were like folding cards, so I used the other side here, and you can see more of the insurance envelope there. And I made a piece of stationery with these water spiders, and on back it's like wedding invitation paper. So I thought that would be a fun piece of stationery for in here. Then we have some vellum graph paper. This is basically like a death blackwork image from an art book on Cabinet of Curiosity paper. This tag in behind is one of my documents that I scanned. These eyes are from It Capilli Imaginarium, and this image is from Miles Beyond the Moon. Then this tuck spot has a verse on it that says, "By the road to the contagious hospital, under the surge of the blue mottled clouds driven from the northeast, a cold wind, beyond the waste of broad muddy fields, brown with dried weeds, standing and fallen, patches of standing water and scattering of tall trees." And then we have a little ticket with mushrooms here, and this is like a little kind of surreal imagery kind of greeting card on this weird paper, and this says introduction. It's from an antique book, and it's all stitched. We have a moth down here. This paper is all inked and pearlized, and this is another Cabinet of Curiosity page. Over here, a little kind of double flappy tuck spot. But there's on the side, there is one of my carbonized leaf images, and that's writing paper. And then in here we have this tag, and it is like a strange Cabinet of Curiosities. It says chapter 27, the plain stones, and then that goes right in here. And then the Cabinet of Curiosity paper, and then on here we have, this is all inked and pearlized, and this gold quixote kind of creepy girls with a pumpkin. And then this is one of my pieces of paper. This is sketchbook paper that was rusted and carbonized with these leaves. These are birch leaves, and it's just held on with a rusty paper clip. Then we have this belly band with this surreal image of this girl with this castle in her hair, and you can see Cabinet of Curiosity paper back there. And this image is from a collector's collection basically, and it's from the Past Objects book of that archaeologist who used to collect all the things that he dug up. More Cabinet of Curiosities and vellum graph paper. The insurance envelope again, and we have a bottle here. Inside all these journals, you'll find one page of this. These are all plants that are native or common to North America. We have a little bit of a tiny little conifer here, a seed pod, different seeds and findings. And they are all stitched inside coin envelope plastic, so nothing can escape from there. The tiniest seed can't get through. I did a very, very close single stitch. Nothing will escape this. These are carbonized Japanese maple leaves. This is a little tuck spot of these spooky creatures from Gold Quixote on Etsy. It's on the Cabinet of Curiosities paper. This is another little journal card from Miles Beyond the Moon. Then this is a little tuck spot that says Strange and Curious, and you pull it out and you see a little image from Miles Beyond the Moon and some collaging. And then this journal card is just of a really old looking beautiful window, and then this is an envelope, so it flips open, and then we have this beautiful image of these tigers, and this is from an old book. I can't recall what book, but it's an old book. Let me just go in there. Big journal card. And then here we have this spooky image of this girl in a cage, and it's on some fun scrapbook paper of specimens. And this image is from Miles Beyond the Moon, and it's, you know, been all wrinkled up and inked to look like an old weathered document. Inky page and a carbonized rusted watercolor paper plant. And here we have a 1935 authentic Moss Garage invoice. Little frame here on the back side of that fun paper. This is like a creepy little like antique clown costume on this child on this inky paper. Over here we have a Cabinet of Curiosities tuck spot image with this. This was made from a book page, and it has this fun balloon that's like a puffy kind of sticker balloon. The other side of the envelope has that nice metal closure, and this sad, interesting star. This is from a children's book, and I just love the image. And back here we have this verse. Look up, up, up into those billion, billion sparkling stars. What dreams do you find? Little dreams, big dreams, each a hope looking for a life to make it real, a life like yours. Dream bigger with everything around you, with everything before and after you, with everything that is you. And that's from the same book as the image in the pocket. This is from the Cabinet of Curiosities book. More of my Japanese maple leaves carbonized here, and the other side of that sample page you'll see here birch bark and bleeding hearts, milkweed pods, some maple seed helicopters. This is another page of carbonized leaves. These are sumac leaves on watercolor paper. These are this is antique doll book page that I put into a boiled book pot. That you see here are from plants, and I painted the text block area gray so that you'd have more writing space. Cabinet of Curiosities page. This is a little tuck spot made from a sign language alphabet on some waffly packaging paper. And here we have this. This was from a book about like health and lifestyle and disease. It's pigeons, gray peril, and there's a write-up about how pigeons can be dangerous. I know that people call them sometimes the rats of the sky, but I quite love pigeons. I think they're wonderful. I especially love the pink ones and the white ones. I think that the pink ones especially are very magical. This is some really interesting ophthalmology health book paper, and then this is some of the Cabinet of Curiosity with all these beautiful shells. This is an airmail envelope with an It Capilli Imaginarium eye set there, and then an Audubon Birds journal card inside. This has a antiquated kind of chair on it. This is a page from inked on the back with some alcohol ink. Who is this? Gold Quixote. This is another airmail envelope, and this spooky Easter family picture in here. And this is the price of lice. So that actually goes with the pigeon. More Cabinet of Curiosity, ophthalmology, and waffle package paper. We have a cork pocket here, and this is also from the same page. Dealers in Disease, Black Rat, Black Death. More Cabinet of Curiosity and boiled antique doll book page. This is a journal card of a black cat with those cool eyes on rusted paper clip. The other side of that sumac that's been rusted and carbonized on watercolor paper. Coffee dyed Grey's Anatomy paper. This moth here holds onto this big piece of vintage music called My Dream. It's a big journal card. This is from a photography book, and I just liked this like family here, and then this says my dream was to get as soon as I, so it's like, you know, about that sketchbook, the photographer's info. So here we have someone doing like ancient, you know, lobotomy or something, and he has a metal funnel on his head. It's so weird. And this is some stamp collector paper. There is a folio on here on this fun scrapbook paper, and it's old cinema images, and it's on with a rusted paper clip, so it opens with writing space in here, and it says, "Quiet minds cannot be perplexed or frightened, but go on in fortune or misfortune at their own private pace, like a clock during a thunderstorm." R.L. Stevenson. This has all been inked, and then over here I have put in these, each one of them, a little journal card from things taken out of a book called Curiosa, which was created by an artist, photographer, and collector who collects the weirdest things that are sent to them, and they're things from history or famous people, notorious things. So this is June Anderson's Sore Throat Spray. This is the key from the electric keyboard that Beck took a chainsaw to, then smashed into the ground, Los Angeles, 1998. Ozzy Osbourne's Rolling Papers and Cigarette Butt. And Oscar Hammerstein's Tuxedo Stud. So it's a really fascinating book. It's just called Curiosa, and it's just really cool, and I love using the bits and bobs from it in these books. This is maple seeds carbonized on sketchbook paper, some vintage graph paper, more of the Cabinet of Curiosities, and I've added a medical image here, as well as some medical bottles over here of enterogastrone, enterokinase, erepsin, More vintage graph paper and maple seeds. This is a scan card from a vintage board game. I love the eyes. And this is a lorikeet from the Audubon Birds on a tag there. More of the stamp collector paper. And the other half of that funny, like, early surgery image. This guy's balancing a book on his head. It's kind of weird. And then this is a strange image from Gold Quixote. A belly band made from this photography of gargoyles. And this is another of the collection kind of images from a different book called Nomads. More of the coffee-dyed Grey's Anatomy. This is beautiful 49 in market paper with this journal card of these nests from the Cabinet of Curiosities. More of the cabinet. This is some leaf printed paper. Glop of Columbia TriStar production of The Blob, 1998. And it's holding on to a vintage document from 1935, I think. Yeah, Joseph Heffernan Oldsmobile. And this is 49 in market. No, this is Tim Holtz paper. And this is some calligraphy paper. More of the cabinet. We have this palette here from a book that I used as a tuck spot to hold on to this journal card of this cool art doll from an art doll book. Just pop her in there. A cast of Leonard Bernstein's teeth. This is all Curiosa journal card, Curiosity cabinet book. More of the calligraphy paper and Tim Holtz paper. More leaf printing. And more of the cabinet and a little black moth there and an image from Gold Quixote. More of the doll boiled book. This is actually separate though. It's just on this 49 in market paper, and it's the last page of the book, and it is one of the bound boiled doll book pages and it's bound with my botanically printed mordanted cotton. And then the back is kept simple Tim Holtz paper with my seal and signature and date, and I added some threads behind just for a bit of uniqueness. Whew. So that is the end of Grand Concert, and if you are still here, thank you for hanging out with me. I hope you enjoyed the flip through of this book. I do believe this one may be spoken for, but potentially not. So please hang out with me on social media to see when these will get posted. It's coming soon. They're going to go on my Patreon first, which you're also welcome to check out because there's all sorts of fun benefits to my Patreon that may interest you. But otherwise, check out my community tab here on YouTube, my Instagram, and follow me on Etsy. That's the best way to see when I actually post the books. So thank you so much for hanging out with me. I hope you have a wonderful day. Bye for now.